Well, hello, welcome back. I am James Marcuzzo. It is week 3 of the KSS. We're going to talk about people don't actually want equality, they want fairness. An article written by Paul Bloom. Just as the title says, equality is not actually most people's goal or interest, though we hear it talked about quite a lot in our culture. Fairness, I think, in this context is the idea that the system isn't rigged, that what we get is what we deserve or is what we're entitled to based on the structure of the rules. They talk a bit about children and dividing things out, and they have one scenario where a child will give out awards to 2 other hypothetical children based on work done. There seems to be a great desire for fairness there, but then in other scenarios where a child is taking things for themselves, they want more. So there seems to be some conflicting evidence about fairness, where most of the evidence points towards people not wanting to get screwed. I want what I should get, and everyone else be damned. And so if everyone operates that way, then we all have a deep interest in the system not being corrupt. Because it's okay that there are people that are rich, much richer. The problem is when those rich people seem to have gotten rich by unfair means or by doing things that I'm not even allowed to do, breaking the rules, for example. That's the corruption problem of any system. So really deep down, this is a discussion about the need for systems not to be corrupt. And people are largely accepting of the outcomes of those systems when they understand that everybody plays by the rules. Some people are just better at playing the game. That doesn't make people all that angry. Though at the outset of the article, he does make a bit of a distinction, and this is interesting, from Frankfurt, another guy, which is a fascinating point. He says, nobody actually cares about the inequalities between the very rich and the very well off, like the super rich and the very rich. I don't know how you want to distinguish it, because the distinction between the top 1% and the top 10%, for example, might be a much larger gulf, like a much larger gulf than between upper middle class and lower class, like several degrees of difference in quintile, economic quintiles. Top 20%, 20%, 20%, bottom 20%. So the point is that, and if we don't care about that, then inequality isn't actually the problem, but we do seem to be concerned about living or existing below a certain standard, right? And that's where that concern for the poor seems to continuously come in, is that living below a certain amount. The idea that those with less, not just less, but too little based on some benchmark that we set. So the rest of the discussion is sort of studies and examples of children distributing things or wanting things from themselves, or chimpanzees being happy with one thing but then seeing another chimpanzee have something better, and then nobody's happy. So it's really about, I want what's best for me, better for me than anyone else. I don't care about them. But then if everyone behaves that way, then we all start looking at each other saying, well, all right, I don't want you to get more than what I have, and you don't want me to get more than what you have, and we both are watching each other to make sure that the rules are being followed. And if they are being followed, and you do more than me, and then you get more than me, I'm actually okay with that. Psychologically, that's what these studies are sort of explaining, and that seems to be borne out by a lot of other literature. So we want fairness, not really equality, because in other articles, like, they explain equality in this very tyrannical, totalitarian, nasty, everybody is forced to be equal. And we've had examples of that in human history recently, where people have attempted to do that. And it's been terrible because people don't actually want that, right? They don't want equality, because we could force everyone to be equal, and by no means would everyone be equally well off. That's just not apparently how it works. Can't explain to you exactly why, but we know it doesn't work that way. And so everyone's forced to be equal, and it's miserable. And most humans seem to be very comfortable with inequality as long as it appears that when playing the game, everyone plays by the same rules and everyone benefits according to their participation. Okay. Good luck. We'll talk soon.